Hi guys, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. If you don't know me, I am Beth of Beth Pim Art. And today I'm going to show you something that I've been working on. I've had a couple of people ask me how my experiment is going with the buff titanium watercolor ground. And today I'm going to show you. Now let's do a little background first. When I'm working in this book, I noticed that it is almost impossible to get your picture the same as Thomas Kinkade's. And I came to the conclusion there was a couple of three reasons for that. Number one, he's using oil paints and I am using pencils. Number two, he is working on a canvas and I'm working on paper. Number three, he very likely, in fact on this picture, I can actually see it. He has a ground on his paper. Do you see that? That's not just brush strokes. That's the ground he used. Ooh, good catch. Anyway, so I decided I was going to put a ground on mine, and I figured the best color, because all of his pictures are very muted, the best color would be the buff titanium. Alright, so I had to go through a few steps to figure out how to do this. And let me walk you through it really quickly. The first one, let me see here. Let me find my pictures, my examples. Come on, come on. There we go. Alright, this was the first picture that I did in here. And I came really close, but I didn't use a ground. And this was when I realized really that I needed a ground. And you can see there's quite a bit of difference there. Alright, so I decided I needed a ground, and I chose my buff titanium. And let me make sure I get this in order. Yep, okay. Then I tried this one. And it was way closer. I mean, I was just gobsmacked at how better it was coming out. And this is not pencil. This is Neocolor 2s. But even using that medium, it was just like, wow. Okay, and yeah, it's not close, but it was a big step forward from that one. So I was encouraged. I thought, okay. But one thing I noticed is this was just too dark. Way too dark. I needed to lighten that up somehow. So next, another trial I wanted to see is what would happen if I used a fan brush. Okay? Because a fan brush will give me those little strokes, extra texture that I really thought would look awesome. And I did this one. And I'm not sure how well you can tell, but you see those lines? Those lines are from the ground, not my pencils. And it just did not work, at least on this picture. Maybe another picture it would be okay, but this one, it just was not working. However, I felt the background was still a little bit too dark. I wanted it just a bit lighter. So then, make sure I got this right. Okay. I started this one. As you can see, the ground is much paler. And I did it with a soft sponge brush rather than the hard one with the bristles, and I like that better, at least for this particular picture. I'm about halfway done with this. This is only my first layer, but already I'm really happy with this thing. I mean, just wow. I'm just like, okay, yeah, it's going to be different. It's going to be lighter, but I'm doing okay with this. So I said I would show you what I was doing. This is what I'm doing, but I'm going to show you how I did it. So I'm going to pick this picture, and I'm going to put the ground on it and show you how I do that. All right, get it down a little bit. I take a little cup and I take 1 teaspoon of transparent watercolor ground, okay? I do this to help lighten up the buff titanium. All right, can you see this over here? I don't think you can. There we go. Okay, so I take 1 teaspoon, and this is not a measuring spoon, this is just a plastic teaspoon, and I put it in my cup. Okie dokes. Then put this back on. Try and get as much of that off as I can. I don't want to waste it. Okay, I'll clean that off. Then I take half of that for the buff titanium. So this is going to be half a teaspoon. I'm going to put just a little more. So the amount of buff titanium I put in is determined by how much of the transparent I put in. I put in half of the transparent amount. Come on off of there. Now, all the normal watercolorists at this point are freaking out and screaming at their monitor, no, 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 with what I am about to do. I now take water and I put in whatever amount I put in. So I have put in 1.5 teaspoons. So I'm going to put in 1.5 water. And everybody's screaming, no, don't do it, Beth. And as you can see, it breaks up. Totally splits. But if you keep stirring, it will come back together. Because technically I'm not using this as a ground per se. Although that is half its function. I'm using it as an undercoat that just happens to have properties that help me with my painting or coloring. Now I have to determine if I want to make this any thicker, and that is pretty thin. I might have put in just a touch too much water. But the color is right, so I am going to add just a little bit more. of my transparent white. Tiny bit, like 1/4 of a teaspoon maybe. All right, let's see if that helped. Yeah, that's a little better. You could probably use like a paint thinner or a turpentine or something like that, because I think these are oil based. You could probably use a turpentine or something like that to thin them out instead of water, because I'm pretty sure these are oil based. But I'm using water. Now I've heard that you can put in about 10% water and not have it affect the ground. But, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. And it works for me. So that's my recipe. It is measurement 1, half of measurement 1, and then duplicating whatever measurement I used. So 1, 1/2, and 1 1/2. And I've got paint on me. All right. Now I have my paint. And I have my sponge brush. And I just go over it. Hopefully without spilling. Where can I put this? Let's try there. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is a little on the thin side. At least what I've been doing so far. Pale, I mean, by thin. There we go, that's a little better. Now if I used the fan brush, I'd get some nice texture on there. And that might be good on that castle, might be good on any building really. But for now, I'm gonna concentrate on one type of experimentation at a time. You can put more than one layer on too. I put 2 on before. It does make it darker, but like in this instance, I'm feeling it's just a little bit on the pale side. So you know what? Let's go ahead and put another thin layer on. Oh, don't you dare spill on me. Do not need that. Here we go. That looks really good. All right, that's the color I want. Now, because there's so much water in this, the page is going to curl. So you need to put, hold on a second, I'm going to go wash this off because that's what I do. I wash it off instantly. Don't want that stuck in my brush. Be right back. This stuff comes out really well when you do it when it's wet. Not so good when you do it when it's dry. All right, now we want to put some weight on these edges without taking up too much of the page. Now this won't take long to dry. Honestly, it's already mainly dry, but we want to give it a little bit time, at least half an hour. At least that's what I do. So tell you what, why don't you help me make it drier quicker, okay? On the count of 3, blow on your computer screen, okay? Let's all blow on the count of 3, and we're gonna dry this super fast. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Did it work? Did it work? Yeah, that's pretty dry. There's still a little dampness here where I did a little more, but yeah. Thank you guys very much for helping me out on that. Okay, so that is what it looks like before I start coloring. And like I said before, this is my work in progress, and I'm loving it. Still got a ways to go, and this is my first layer, so it's going to get darker. But yeah, I am really, really happy with the buff titanium, and it works a treat. It works wonderful. It does help to have a little bit of the transparent in there to help kind of diffuse it, but yeah, this is working really well. So there is my update on how the buff titanium watercolor ground is working in this book. So short answer is awesome. There you go, guys. This will be up in actually, I'm not sure when it's going to go up because I'm not sure when I'm going to have it finished, but within 2 to 3 weeks for sure. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.